If you're looking for an easy way to create smooth, beautiful curls that last for days, and don't want to stress over the damaging heat of a curling iron, then flexible curl rods are a great choice. While there are many options out there for curling your hair, flexible curl rods have a rubber hold that lets you easily create curls without kinks or breaks. When used correctly, flexi rods will curl your hair without damaging it, like some heat options can. So, we are going to watch about the how to use curl rods.
Method 1. Preparing your hair.
First is give yourself enough time to let your hair dry in curl rods. Curling your hair can take a fair amount of time to do. If you have more time, you can let your curls dry naturally with the rods in your hair. But this can take hours. For a speedier option, use a hooded blow dryer. Your hair must be completely dry by the time you take your rods out. Step 2. Wash your hair with shampoo and conditioner to remove excess oils. Your curls will look healthier and last longer if your hair is clean before you curl it. Leave your hair a little damp. Do not dry it completely. Flexi rods work best on wet or damp hair to create a stronger, lasting curl. If you aren't going to wash your hair, you can use a spray bottle to dampen it.
Step 3. Moisturize your hair with leave-in conditioner.
Apply leave-in conditioner or moisturizing cream to allow for better curls and to control frizziness. This will also make it easier for you to put on the curl rods. If your hair is not naturally curly, apply setting lotion or gel to help the curl hold. For thick hair, apply moisture as you section your hair, not before. Finally, use hair clips to divide your hair into 4 to 6 sections so it's easier to curl. Divide your hair evenly using a hairbrush or wide-toothed comb, and then coil each section onto the top of your head with your finger. Remember, this is just to keep the rest of your hair out of the way while you're working with one section. If you have natural hair, detangle each section and apply moisturizer as you go. Larger clips work well with longer or thicker hair.
Method 2. Putting in the curl rods.
First is use smaller rods for small, tight curls and bigger rods for larger curls. The wider the rod, the looser the curl. The smallest flexi rod is typically 8 inch, 95 centimeters, and larger rods can go all the way up to 8 inch, 2. For shorter hair, smaller rods are best. To maintain short, very tight coils, use cold wave perm rods. They will allow you to clip in hair for a firmer hold. Step 2. Separate the small lock from the back section and remove any tangles. If you have thick hair or want tighter coils, separate smaller locks of hair for each flexi rod. Use larger chunks of hair if you have thin hair or want looser coils. Typically, a square inch of hair should work. Apply a small amount of gel to each lock if you have naturally frizzy hair. Step 3. Wrap the end of the lock around the flexi rod to secure it. The end of the hair must be tightly secured so that the flexi rod doesn't come out as your hair dries and becomes more slippery. Curl the end of the hair tightly around the rod. Make sure to begin at the end of the flexi rod so that you can use the rest of the length to spiral your hair. Step 4. Roll the flexi rod in a spiral up the lock of hair until you reach the root. Make sure your hair stays smooth as you create a spiral of hair around the rod. Do not roll the rod straight up the hair or let the hair wrap over itself, as this will increase drying time and produce weaker curls. Longer hair will require longer flexi rods. Step 5. Bend the flexi rod at the root of your hair to secure the coil in place. Bend the top of the flexi rod in the opposite direction of the spiral of hair for a more secure hold. Repeat this process for the rest of the section, and then begin on another section until all of your hair is securely in flexi rods. Finally, let your hair completely dry in the flexi rods. The key word is completely. You can sleep with flexi rods in overnight, or use a hooded dryer to speed up the process. Longer or thicker hair will take longer to dry. If you plan to keep your flexi rods in overnight, wrap your hair in a satin wrap, bonnet, or other soft cloth to prevent frizz. If you begin the process with dry hair and dampen it, the drying time will be shorter.
Method 3. Removing the curl rods. First is select a curl rod and straighten it.
Unfold one of the curl rods to begin removing it. Go one at a time. Do not try to remove multiple rods at once. Step 2. Uncoil the rod in the opposite direction that you twisted it in. Use the same twisting movement as you did when putting the rods in. Gently unravel the hair from the rod completely before moving to another rod. Do not pull the rod straight out of your hair or you'll lose the curl. Step 3. Use your fingers to gently separate the curls for a more natural appearance. Once you have removed all the rods, run your fingers gently through your hair to break up the tight coils. Separate the curls gently and let them naturally come apart. Do not completely straighten your hair when you do this.
Finally, apply hairspray for a lasting curl.
Lightly spray your hair with hairspray once you've achieved your desired look. This will help your curls last longer and reduce frizz, especially on humid days.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.